All right, so I'm a little fixed for space on my truck, and I recently upgraded both of these products to this inspection camera. I think that's a 3-foot wand, and this Flir infrared camera. And this came in just a canvas zipper pouch, and this was 4 times the cost of this camera. This was about $100, and this is a $400 camera. And this Ridgid came in this nice blow molded case with metal clips, and it's good. And it's not really oversized for what it stores, but it does take up a little bit of room in the truck. And I really don't want this bouncing around for what its value is. I know you can get these for 5 times the cost of what I paid for this for the better quality ones, but for what I need it for, just checking radiant floors or snowmelt systems to make sure that they have even flow and everything's getting hot, this is all I need. So my goal is to try to turn this case in to combine both of these cameras into one storage case. I happen to have this. I've had this for about a year. I bought this for a different project that never ended up happening from Amazon. 18 by 16 by 2 inches thick. This is that foam that you can cut out, notch out to store whatever you need. So as I started this project, I realized maybe I should film this. And so where I started was using the multi-tool here, and I went around the case here and I cut this whole section out. I haven't pulled it out yet, but I cut it out. So my goal is to remove this entire piece, fit the foam into the piece, and then notch it out so I can fit both cameras into this case. And the reason for that is obviously then I have both inspection cameras in one case, but also this case fits perfectly behind my back seat. So it's a nice safe place, and I'm not going to have it with the heavy metal tools bouncing around. So let's give it a go here, see what I can do. All right, so I got it cut out, and there's a big gap, maybe about a 1/2 inch, that these lips overhang. So I measured these inside dimensions. I added 3/8 of an inch, just guesswork, to the dimensions. My thought is, if I can put a notch in here like this, that I can get this to the right size, round the corners off, whatever it takes, sort of push it in place. It'll kind of snap in place and then kind of nest itself under those overhangs. It does have these little bevels on the sides, so I'm going to have to cut the corners off on a diagonal. And then we have to round or clip the corners a little bit. So I'll figure that out. So I got the bottom edges beveled. I just did that on the bandsaw. I turned the table on a bevel, and that blue tape is the painter's tape I was using just as a guide. So that'll clear the bottom. So now I just have to round off the corners or bevel off the corners and then come up with some way to put a notch in there. So I'm hoping that I just have a block of wood here that's cut to the right depth, I think. So I've got the X-Acto knife. So I'm just hoping that I can use that as a guide and notch all the edges like that. That seems to work pretty good. So I'll do all 4 sides, and then I'll come back around and notch the top. So I've got this little 3/16 spacer, and just notching that the same way as I did the outside edges. So that's going to take a little bit of finesse to clean that up, peel that away, but I think that worked out. All right, so I've got it cut out, notched out pretty well, and I clipped all the corners off, and I think it would fit in there pretty well. But once I push it in, I think it's going to sort of snap in place, and I'm not sure I'll get it back out. So I'm not going to go any further until I get everything cut out for the cameras. I never said this was a how-to video, but it's coming along. So I used this little trim router with a 1/4-inch bit, and I just went around, traced everything with a knife, and then cut it out. And I think it's going to work. It's going to fit pretty well. This camera fits in there pretty nice. I don't want to push it in there because I'm not going to be able to get it back out. And then the Flir fits in there pretty well. It'll be good, I think. But I still have to get the accessories. There's a battery pack that it's a square battery pack, I might fit in there. And then maybe I'll just let everything else lay in there loosely. So I think we're making progress. But the issue that I noticed is in the lid. There's a notch that holds the booklet, and I'm concerned that whenever I push this in, this is going to stick up too high, and that's going to be a problem. So because I'm trying to conserve space, I have this wrapped a lot tighter than it came from the factory, which I think is okay. It's just going to be a little bit more of a pain in the butt whenever I put it away. So now I get to see if it fits in the case. So that's great. It snapped in with the notches around the edges just like I hoped. It's a nice tight fit. But I can see this is going to be the issue. with this bump in the lid. So, yep, it's hitting. So I have two options. I can try to recess this more, or I can cut the lid out. I kind of wanted this notch to keep the manuals for both cameras. I thought that would be nice if they were both in there. So I've got to think about what I'm going to do there. Alright, so that worked out pretty well. All that's left is the accessories. We have the cables for both the cameras, and we've got a magnet retrieval tool and a little mirror that all snap on the end of the camera, which honestly I've never used any of them, but seems like something I want to hang on to. Just throw them right there. And of course the manuals for both. And they can still go right there. There we go. So that's $500 worth of equipment in a $100 case. And I think that infrared camera is much better off compared to this case that it came with. So, thanks for watching.